on the subject of interruptee.
Interruptee.
Here is a flavor of that.
You both have said Vladimir Putin is a
Gentlemen,
better
we're going to
leader
get to
than the
Russia
president.
in just a moment.
He's employed tens of thousands of people in this country.
And paid few taxes and lost $1 billion a year. You are Donald Trump's apprentice. Let me talk about this
Senator,
issue
I think I'm still on my time.
Well, I think, isn't this a discussion?
This is our open discussion.
Let's talk about the state of the world.
Let me interrupt you and finish my sentence if I can. Have run this economy into a ditch. We're in the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression.
15 million new jobs.
Gentlemen,
if you can't meet the Nixon standard,
the people at home cannot understand either one of you when you speak over each other. I would please ask you to wait until it is that the other is finished.
I was in Washington, D.C. on 9/11. I saw the clouds of smoke rise from the Pentagon.
I was in Virginia, where the Pentagon's located.
I know you were. We all lived through that day as a nation. It was
because the FBI did an investigation.
Gentlemen.
And they concluded that there was no reasonable prosecutor who would take it further.
Senator Kaine, Governor Pence, please.
Unbelievable. I mean, Tim Kaine even interrupted Mike Pence when he was just trying to share a remembrance about 9/11.
Yeah. And
you had to get in where he was. And
it's one of those things where you can tell that Kaine had all these lines that he wanted to get in. He was like, ooh, and I'll say that. Ooh, and I'll say this. And ooh, and I'll say the other thing. And then it was just too much when he couldn't quite handle it.
And there were questions online about where was the moderator? Where was the control?
I got to tell you, Megan, I love politics, but this debate made my head hurt. Unfortunately, Elaine Quijano, the moderator from CBS, let this careen utterly out of control. Tim Kaine interrupting Mike Pence far more often without much admonition from the moderator. But here's the thing, as Chris was just saying, I mean, Tim Kaine was so determined to throw out as many grenades against Donald Trump as he could, even if they exploded around his body, that in another reference to 9/11, he somehow turned it around to Donald Trump didn't pay his taxes and Mexican rapists, and he kept bringing these things up again and again. Mike Pence, who's a former radio talk show host, tried not to take the bait on every attack against Trump, tried to be a little more...
He took no bait, really.
Yeah, right. Which opens him up to accusations about not defending his guy, but he came across a little more modulated, a little more dignified. I think as time went on, Kaine lost this debate because his attacks were less forceful as they became so scattershot.
What do you make of the Lowry theory, that Kaine lost? He didn't care whether he won or lost. He just wanted to mention dogs, pigs, slobs, taxes as many times as humanly possible.
Get there and say the words. Look, these are two very traditional, very normal, very mainstream candidates who are running on a ticket with people who are not normal candidates. These are people who are...
Abnormal.
Right. They're quite, for good or for ill.
So are we. We can relate.
Quite so. But their job is to show normalcy, and they did that. And Kaine and Pence both did this. They both steered around the fundamental questions and issues for their candidates. There was a lot of non-answering that was going on tonight. You sort of expect that, but I think they both ably dodged.
Yeah, they did. They were able dodgers.
Able dodgers.
Great to see you both.